Hi, everyone. Welcome to Nikki Bostwick Unfiltered. I'm your host, Nikki, and today's guest is Liz Smithers, who's the founder of LAKA. We've worked together actually for a long time. I used to sell Liz's products, LAKA products, on The Fullest, back when The Fullest used to sell other products. I think that was 2017, I don't know, it was a long time ago, and I loved your butters. Oh my gosh, I was literally just eating my last spoonful of the macadamia butter the other day.
Oh my God.
And I went on the website and I was like, oh my God, she doesn't have any on there. So I'm really excited to talk about this because we've both gone through so much transformation, I feel like, with our businesses. And I think that it's so important to discuss. Liz is a mother. I'm a mom. We met before she became a mom. I think you were pregnant when we met. It was like at Mercado.
Yeah. So actually, I didn't know I was pregnant, but you came over, and you know when you're pregnant and your boobs and your nipples just get so weird. I was like, what is going on? I know it's kind of cold in LA, but why am I freezing? Like, my boobs were so cold and so hard, and you came over and gave me this jacket, and I was like, oh my gosh, thank goodness. But it turns out I was pregnant during that time. So I found out right after that. I didn't know though.
Wow. And I had Truth with me, and I was doing the market. We were both doing the market together, and we just met and instantly connected. And it kind of just went from there. But I think, watching you grow LAKA and just for me, it's so important for me to have a network of like-minded people, especially mothers that are going through kind of the same journey together. And it even, though we don't talk that much, it keeps us going. That's how I feel. It keeps people going, and it keeps me going. And it's so nice to just kind of see what you're doing with LAKA, and you've always been so supportive of me and what I'm up to. So I appreciate it. I'm so excited to have you on and just kind of catch up too with how things are going. Yeah. And I've noticed with our audience, people really appreciate some of the business conversations that we have, and they're kind of random, but I do think that business and wellness go hand in hand, because a lot of the times people that are interested in wellness are interested in having their own sovereignty, and entrepreneurship is a big part of that, in my opinion, and figuring out a way to craft your own way of being and living consciously in the world does incorporate business values and entrepreneurship. So let's get started with LAKA and just how it was and where it's going. I just saw that you have your honey that I'm flying over.
I know.
Okay, tell us all about it.
Yeah, I've also noticed how many ways that you've pivoted to at The Fullest, and I think there's such synchronicity with just both of our journeys growing companies. And even when you guys were just a publication, I will say also, I've been a huge fan of you for a long time, and just everything you stand for and stand up for. And it is not only doing business for the first time, but also doing that as a mom has completely rocked my world. And there's been so many different iterations of LAKA and just how I've grown, and a lot of things I had to let go of, and ideas that I had to let go of what my business is going to look like and how it's going to look for me. Because I think that when you're coming into it, never running a business before, you basically just look to all the people that are really successful, and you're like, well, if my business isn't like theirs, then you kind of almost try and match it. And I did that for so long, and it just got me into a really flustered state. I couldn't keep up. And so I had to refine a lot of things we were doing. So you're saying, you went to go look and see, we had the drips. We discontinued the drips last year. I made that decision. I swear, I slowly just started shaving off products. I was like, anything that's just not hitting home and causing me too much added pressure, I have to let it go. I can't keep up as a mom, and I can't keep up as someone who is just trying to learn the ropes. And deliver really high quality products to people that give people the highest impact. Like, you can't do that with 10 products and like basically one person running the whole show. So it was a really hard decision because I launched into the space with drips and they're so dear to me. And I think that there's still such a need for a product like that. I will say, like, stay tuned. There's a new iteration coming back as soon as we can kind of get it together. But it was like probably my biggest lesson. Like, it happened at the same time as me becoming not a mom of one, but like a mom of two. I completely had to shift everything in my life just to like stay above water, and not just stay above water, but like be able to commit to thriving again. You know, like, it was just, like I said, it rocked my world. Having kids, love my kids so much, but like, it took me under in so many ways. Like, I didn't think I was going to make it out. I'm like, I can't believe I'm still standing. Some days I'm like, I can't believe I didn't give up on LAKA and my business. It's just like, I don't know. You get into this place where it's like, I don't know, the strength that it takes to like deliver a baby. I'm like, if you can do that, you can literally do anything.
Yeah, it's so true. Deliver a baby and then keep them alive and keep yourself alive, and then keep another baby alive after delivering that one. I mean, it's like, I don't know how people have more than two.
No, I don't either. But then at the same time, like, I can also see how maybe it gets a little bit easier, but I'm done. I don't think I can test the waters with 3. But yeah, I mean, and so basically I see it as like this kind of rubber band effect. Like, I shaved off a bunch of products and we kind of just went only down to our matcha. And now I'm like kind of starting to stretch back the rubber band a little bit. I've brought in I have a new partner, and so she's incredible. And like, she's the supportive partner I just never knew I needed. And I'm really starting to realize, as I get deeper into business and just understanding how things work, like, there's so many things that I'm just so bad at and I should never be in charge of. And I'm like the perfect candidate for a partner, because otherwise my perfectionism and my just running myself rampant, I'll just spiral out. So I do have a partner. Things are incredible with her. I love her so much. She's like an angel. I don't even know how she came to me, but I mean, I do, but it just still seems so incredible. But she's helping me just find flow to things and just, I don't know, add structure and build a stronger foundation so that we can actually do the big things that I've always wanted to do in this space. And I'm so driven and I'm such a visionary, but it's like, you can't do it alone. Like, you just can't. Yeah. So, there's a lot of new things coming. We did just launch honey, which is, it's all 100% raw Kauai honey, really great. I'm a movement instructor as well. So anything that's going to like amplify my movement practice and just also be kid friendly too. I'm like, I want it to be in our household and stuff that I use every day. Of course, you can add it to your matcha, but right now, we just have matcha and honey and more things on the way, but I want to keep it as a cliffhanger. So
I'm so excited about the honey, and I love that. And that's very similar to my journey too, because we had a line of saffron products and we totally cut it down to just the capsules and the latte. And I have the baths still up right now, just like as we're finishing them up, but really we're not planning on bringing them back. But like you, it's not like 100% done, but it's done for now, because this is it's really working to just focus on the core things that move the needle. Yes. And then, you can always bring something back, but why? When I made that decision, I was like, oh my gosh, it feels so good. I can be a more present mom. And then And then when you do that, you somehow rebuild the capacity.
Yes.
Now you're like, oh, I can see why other things can be in the mix. It doesn't just have to be these, but you need to do that, especially as a mom, especially just figuring out how you're going to be present. And then like as they get older and then are able to go to some sort of school or whatever, just like, you know, we're bringing a partner, whatever it is. I think that when you go through that difficult experience of making a decision that even though it's like a baby that you cut, like not really, but like the drips, it's like you formulated that, you created that, you love that. That's why you wanted to bring it out into the world.
I survived a cookie drip for like the first 2 years of business.
Yes.
I'm like, how can I let go of my life source? And it's like, it just, I don't know. It's like there has to be an evolution, but like there's so much, like you said, capacity that you gain and just cutting the cord on things that are just like, you're just trying to juggle all these things. How can you be good at anything if you're just juggling all these balls at one time in the air, you know?
Yeah.
It was just too much. Yeah. I would like wake up because I'm based on Kauai. And so I would wake up and not even joking you, from the second I woke up, be on the phone, on email, putting out fires, like literally knowing nothing about business for years with our fulfillment partners, our co-packers and our fulfillment partners on the mainland. And it's like, I would wake up, and even if I woke up at 6 o'clock, there would already have been like 20 fires that like, I'm just not able to take them all out. Like I needed something that was just very straightforward. And we really have something special with our matcha, and it's so dear to me as a mother. Like it saves me in a way from just so much anxiety and all the things that come along with like my tendencies as not only a mom, but like a business owner. And it was like, okay, wait, like this is really good and this works and this is creating so much impact in people's lives. Like, why can't this be good enough? You know, like I know that I have it in me, and I know that the company has it in it to create amazing things, but just like drop it for a little bit. Like,
yeah, no, on that note, I love that, because I think that when you're tied to your like when you're really tapped into your intuition, as a mother, as a business owner, as a person, and you need to make those really difficult decisions, you can make those decisions based off of like what your original mission was, bringing this business forward.
yes.
And you kind of were just mentioning that, at least something that really resonates with me. It's like, well, then when you need to make that decision, you go back to what is my original mission and why did I do this? And then you were just saying like matcha makes such a big impact on people. So is that your mission?
Yeah, like I feel like only in the last 2 years have I started to really understand my mission. Like I know what propelled me to start. Like of course I want people to feel good, but I think that also like I deeply want people to trust themselves and seriously live from an intuitive state. And for me, like I use coffee as an example, but like it doesn't matter if you consume coffee or not. Like matcha alone from its caffeine content is like the perfect vehicle for like changing the brainwaves so you're more present, like helping you digest more so you feel lighter and like your body's functioning more. Like you get so much chlorophyll, which is obviously so great for our detoxification. Like there's so many just elements that it's like, okay, can this help elevate people's intuitive sense and help them lead a more present life? Like, then they start to trust themselves. Then they don't feel scared to speak up. Then they're not afraid of like what people think. And I think that that's like so powerful, just not giving up on yourself and just like not caring what anyone's saying about what you're doing or how you're doing it or how long you're doing it. Like that was something that I had to really let go of too. Because it was like, how many years go by? And like people that are like very young, but they're also kind of ignorant, like, oh, you're still running a business. Like you're not a millionaire, by stuff like that, where it's just like, no, the mission is so much deeper than that. And like, this is just the practice. So you've had a million jobs in the time that I've been, you know what I mean? It's like, you have to go, it has to be deeper than that. And so I'm like, how can I find that in one product? If the product is like going to reach the people? Like, what is going to touch the most people, and what is the most likely to be repeated by our community? And as much as like the uniqueness of the drips and like entering into the space, it was so exciting, and no one had ever seen, you know, stuff like that. And it was just, the whole process was great. It was like, there was still just so many barriers, like the packaging and like, you know, stuff breaking during shipment, like this stuff that it's like, I believe that someone can run a business as one person or a few people, a small team, but like packaging is huge. I'm just like, oh my gosh, I can't have any more damaged shipments. Like, it's just too much overhead. Yeah.
Oh my God. I had to switch from glass to, I mean, it's like so sad. The damaged shipments alone, you're like, okay, this is just not worth it at all for anyone.
No, like everyone's like,
So,
oh, it's the most sustainable option. I'm like,
it's
I
not.
kind of don't effing care, because like literally I'd rather it get to you than you have a box full of broken glass arrive to your house and like there's oil spilling out from the drips, like out of the boxes. Like,
Oh my God. It sounds like a nightmare. But yes, it goes back to, okay, I love the thing that you were saying about repetition, because the saffron latte is the same thing. It's like a daily ritual. I drink matcha and saffron together every single day. Like, I mean, different times of the day, you have like a good recipe that I need to do with the matcha but that to me, I'm like, oh my gosh, anyone that wants to start a business and is passionate, like think about doing something that people do every day, because if not, and they're not going to come back, then it's like, just be with your kids.
no, I mean, completely. Like, and I think that it's like, who knows what would have happened if I wasn't a mom? Like, if I had not become a mom, I could have spiraled off into this crazy ass business owner that just like literally strew so far from what I actually lived in, just because the nature of the beast, you know? It's like, oh, I don't know. I just like, my kids, they made things so hard, but like they literally saved me. They saved my life. Just as a person, I'm like easily distracted, very type A though. Like, yeah.
I'm like the same as you. No, seriously though, because they make it so that you have to figure out what's your priority or else you're just like off into the deep end. And you just keep going thinking, because it's like a hamster wheel.
Yes, totally.
Of stuff. But I feel like that's why women, especially mothers, are really efficient, because we don't have time for bullshit.
No, we do not have time. It's like, you've got to just keep the conversation short and just like, you've literally got shit to do. It's like,
and it's so good. And I was actually, what's your human design?
I'm a projector.
Oh my gosh, same.
Really? Oh my God. No way.
Today, yeah. She was like, wait, you're a projector? I thought you were a manifesting generator. I was like, absolutely not. I have no energy ever. Like, I have to delegate everything that I possibly do to my husband or someone else. But like, at the same time, obviously, I do push myself as much as I possibly can, but I can't function that way either. So I try and like really work 4 hours a day. I mean, I'm always working, but really sitting down 4 hours a day on my computer.
Oh my God. That's like, I believe in that so much. Like, I found something that really helps me too, because I swear it's like, I do feel like I'm a very efficient person, but I'm also completely all over the place. Like, I'm like one of those people that has like not a linear way of getting things done. So if I just commit to like getting three things, like big things, like things that are actually moving us forward, done a day, like it feels satisfying to me. Like, I can't just have this like long list, or else, I mean, I physically only have like 6 hours while my kids are away at their babysitter, you know, but like, so important, because it's like, I also got to do the dishes.
I know. Well, so what's the movement situation like? Because obviously you teach.
Yeah.
Do you teach classes or private or what?
You know, before I had kids, I was teaching like around the clock. Like, I've been a yoga instructor for a long time and have always been a practitioner. But when I had kids, like, it's really draining, and I taught as much as like I needed to, but now I only teach one class a week, and then I teach kind of like my own kind of formatted class that I'm starting, which is, if I don't teach, I feel like it does not help me stay on track. Like, I can really teach, and I can see how my subtle body is when I'm teaching. If I'm like off and I'm like not moving with it, I'm like I'm not doing something to support myself off the mat or out of the room. Like, I do it as kind of like this regulator, like I think of it as my self-regulator. Like, I don't know, I don't have time to teach every single day, but I still teach enough that it kind of stays, I don't know, it keeps me in the flow. And like, it's so special to me. Movement is so important to me. And it's, to me, like, with my current resources and where I'm at as a mom and a business owner, like, it's the cheapest way to feeling fucking really good. Like, I just need it, like, I can't use a bunch of like equipment or machines. Like, I got to get it the old fashioned way and like do sprints up a hill or like teach a really hot yoga class. So it's just.
Is that what you do personally then? Like, you sprint, or what do you do?
Yeah, I do. Well, so speaking of babies, ever since I had my second child, like, my pelvic floor is just not the same. Like, there is nothing normal about it. Is normal. Nothing as it used to be about my pelvic floor. So yeah, if I'm like, instead of running, like, I used to love to run, but now I just do uphill sprints, like stuff that's like really low impact on my pelvic floor. Like, most of all my movement stuff is all kind of geared to the pelvic floor, whether you've had a baby or not, or whether you're male or female or not. Like, it's just so important. I feel like even like someone who kind of like committed themselves to a really regimented movement practice, I still had issues with my pelvic floor after delivering my baby. And like, there was no issue. She came out quickly. There wasn't like too much pushing, but like, it's a lot. Like, birth is so serious. It is a serious sport. And I want to help people prime their bodies for whatever they have coming. But yeah, that was a really crazy. My second baby, she's huge. She was huge, and it was 2 minutes, and she was out, and like,
oh my God,
room, and I was just like, oh my God, this is really wild. But yeah, my pelvic floor took a beating for sure.
I know. I kept thinking, because I felt like I had the best birth with my daughter. The home birth was so great, but then I was like, oh my gosh, this is like a mic drop moment. Like, I cannot have another child. This is so good. And also, if I do, I will have a prolapse. Like, there's no way my pelvic floor will not last another pregnancy. Like, it will drop. It's like terrible. I'm like, everything's gonna fall out.
I know.
Like, this is okay.
I will never forget when I was like 14 years old, and I was in like one of my first yoga classes, and my yoga instructor, she was actually my mom's friend who owned the studio back then. And I'll never forget, I was in the class, and she was kind of spunky and like just didn't have too much of a filter, would just say stuff. And she just randomly started like getting into this story about one of her students who was like an older woman. And she kept talking about like, yeah, I was just walking through, this grocery store from where I grew up, and I was just walking through Giant, and yeah, I ran into so-and-so, her vagina just fell out on the floor. And I'm like 14. I'm like, wait, that happens? Oh my gosh. And I was like, wait, what happened to her? How did that happen? She's like, she just had 4 babies. I'm like, wait, what? So I know, I hear horror stories. I did have a little bit of prolapse, but like, I thought that it was going to be much worse than it did. And I got like right on the physical therapy, all the things. I'm like, I literally didn't want to look for like 2 weeks. I was like, I can't look down there.
No.
I can't. No. It's just too scary.
No, totally. The first time I thought I was like sewn shut.
Yeah.
So for 6 weeks I was like, I got sewn shut. Like, I refused to look. And then I got cleared to have sex after, because I had a hospital birth the first time. So I went to my OB and I was like, oh my God, how did I just get cleared? There's no way. There's no way. I was like terrified.
I know, like, especially with my second one, I did both of them in the hospital and they were both great. Like, they, I remember the state of Hawaii, like with my first birth, they gave me like 3 months after delivery of my son, my first birth, like they'd never seen like a birth. I guess it went really well and they hadn't seen that or whatever. And they like, they like sent me a gift card in the mail to like this grocery store Times and wanted me to like write all the things I did during my pregnancy. I'm like, wait, what? Which I could go on and on, but it's like, they're just so, like most hospitals, like if you have a hospital birth, I feel like they're so used to people doing all the things that like I walked in and was like, nothing, no, and just had the baby. Yeah. It's so funny. They gave me a $25 gift card to Times, which is like this super janky grocery store here.
Oh my God, that is the funniest story. Oh my God. And they want to know what you did? That is hilarious.
Yeah. Like, it was like this written thing. Of course I sent it in because I'm like, this is like, am I being like recognized by the hospital? It was actually hilarious. But I know. Number 2, and anything after that, I can't imagine. I mean, I've been having baby fever lately, which is terrifying me because I'm like, you're crazy. What are you thinking? Like, adding a puppy or a baby to the mix right now is just like, what? But it's so hard and it's so much. But like, I mean, you know, there's such an addictive thing about birth and like pregnancy and just like, you just understand yourself so much deeper after every delivery and like, I don't know. I'm not going to be the person that has like 5 children, but I'm like, maybe in like 3 or 4 years, maybe I could have like 1 more.
I know. I'm starting to say that too. My husband's like, what? That was never the plan. It was always 2. And I'm like, I mean, if it happens, it happens. Like, I'm not going to have an abortion ever. So, you know,
totally.
But
yeah.
Yeah. So it is what it is. If it happens, then we're blessed, but it is crazy. And I think growing a business is like also what's causing us to think that way, because it is so insane to run a direct-to-consumer brand and grow a product line and have so many issues happen 24/7 that you have to deal with. But it's also beautiful that
so many
we can do that. Yeah.
No, sorry, keep going.
Well, so you go to Vermont like half the year? Is that where you?
No. I'm from Virginia. No, we don't. Virginia. Yeah, I grew up in Virginia. So we were there for like 4 months. I was there switching from one fulfillment center to back to Ship Bob because like
oh my gosh, I'm with Ship Bob.
You're with Ship Bob?
I'm with Ship Bob. Are you currently with Ship Bob?
We're currently with Ship Bob. We used to be with Ship Bob, and it was a total nightmare.
Same. And I stopped. Okay, our journey is just so funny. I was with Ship Bob and then I took it in-house.
Yes.
And then I was with Ship Bob and my husband was like, I swear to God, if you don't stay with Ship Bob, then I'm going to scream next time, because like, I was like, no, it doesn't work. Yes, it does work. No. And then now I'm like happy with them, but it's expensive, obviously.
It is expensive, and it's nice to just have it automated. So we kind of have it split now. So like we ship all of our Hawaii orders from Hawaii now, because the thing is like when I moved the business off the islands in 2018, then like all of our Hawaii customers and wholesalers, they just got screwed with shipping. And it was like so unfair. And I just felt like there has to be a way. So now that we've changed all of our packaging and everything is just like lighter to ship, we now have a shipping little fulfillment area in Hawaii, just for Hawaii. But yeah, the mainland, it in like Canada and whatever gets shipped from Ship Bob, which there haven't been too many problems. And I have noticed now that like there's a lot more customer support. So if anything ever does come up, like packages get lost or damaged or whatever, they're really quick to reimburse. But like I literally working with Ship Bob the first time around, it nearly drove the business into the ground. Like, I can't even tell you how much damaged shipments we have. We had in that.
Same. Like, they don't really, like, oh my God.
No.
Maybe that was the problem. They don't wrap it enough.
No. It was a giant box, and there would be a cookie drip jar with nothing around it, just sloshing around to Canada. And it's like, Oh my gosh. Like, I can't even tell you, hundreds. I'm probably exaggerating, probably tens of thousands of just like money just out the window and just damage.
Oh, yeah.
And then they didn't really reimburse you that well. Like, you couldn't even get in touch with anyone. So I switched from Ship Off to this place in Florida, which they were really great. They were like growing more of like a family style fulfillment company, really cheap. But then like it just, I don't know, they didn't have all the integration stuff. Like, they couldn't integrate with Shopify. So it was like a lot of just like hand effort. And so when we went to Virginia, we were like, okay, I've just had 2 kids. I want to take a break from the island. We went to basically move everything from the fulfillment center in Florida to Ship Off. And just like, I don't know, when you're doing that, like when your inventory's on the line, you have to be like you have to be like on the chat all the time. And you're like, oh my gosh, get these rules set up. This needs to be set up. It just like, it was a lot. So yeah. But we didn't end up staying. We thought we were going to stay for like a year. And then we were just like, what did we do?
Yeah. I mean, Kauai is like, well, you can't do Kauai.
Makayo, his family's obviously here because he's like born and raised here, and his dad got sick, and like his other daughter's here. So like there was a lot of reasons that we were like, this is just not going to really work. So, but yeah. And we couldn't find my son any preschool there. Like, the preschool situation is just, it's insane. Like,
are you able to do school like through high school there in like in Virginia? Not right? No, on Kauai.
Oh yeah, we can. He'll probably go, like right now he's at kind of like a homeschool pod situation. But like they took him early, like he's 4 and he should be 5, but they're like, he's like ready. I'm like, cool, all right, sweet. Can you take him 5 days a week?
Yeah. Yes.
But yeah, he can. They can do school. Like they have high schools and stuff too. But some kids go off island to Oahu or Big Island, but it just depends. I don't know.
For high school?
Yeah, for high school. Yeah, for like like a boarding. It's basically boarding school, like the Kamehameha. Wow. Yeah, the Kamehameha. Hawaiian high schools, they have like a place where you can board on two other islands, which like, they probably will. I don't know. They are Hawaiian, so they can go, but I don't know. I'm like, let's think about elementary school.
Yeah, first think about that. Yeah.
Do your kids go to school or are they with you? Yeah. No,
they go to school, but it's more of like a hands-on like situation, not a drop-off.
Okay.
But like I had, my husband and I switch off right now, or I had a nanny taking them before, but I'm starting my own school. So that's like a whole other thing. It's like an enrichment center that I'm starting here in Laguna.
You're crazy. And how are you doing all these things?
I mean, only because I'm like, well, there's no other place and I need a place for them. So now I just have to do it. Like, that's basically the thing. Cause I'm just like, I want to be part of the solution, and I want to create an opportunity for other people that ask me all the time, what am I going to do about school? And I'm in the same boat. Like,
completely.
I'd rather just do it and have parents be able to drop their kids off at not just like a pod. Like next year I'm doing a pod, or this coming year I'm doing a pod for Truth and for Grace, and it's like a homeschool pod, but I want there to be a place, and yes. We have one here down south, but I feel like I want it all in the same community, which is in Laguna. So I'm crazy, and I'm like trying to start something else. And
time you'd be spending time with your kids probably anyways, doing stuff at some point. So like, I think that it would be very fulfilling, and they're only going to be in school. Like, I don't know if you'll do it for elementary school too, but
yes, no, I'm doing it all the way through high school. I'm like crazy. I like need to think ahead. I just got an architect, a landscape designer to like design the whole place. I'm going to planning commission. Like, I'm literally in
this is going to be so incredible.
So if anyone's listening and wants to come to Laguna for a school because you feel like an outcast, I'll have one. I don't know the name yet, but I think that it's so funny, like just going back to our conversation. I mean, I always talked about it, and I've had a space in my family for years that I could have pitched this and done it, but I felt so overwhelmed. And yeah, truth wasn't like, my son Truth is turning 6 in August. Like he wasn't necessarily there yet, but I could have thought farther in advance. But I was so bombarded with like work stuff and just when I cut down the product line, I was like, oh my gosh, I have so much more capacity to just be. And now I'm essentially doing more than I was doing, but in different things that fulfill me.
Yeah, like you're not getting burned out on one thing. Like, I don't know, I feel like that resonates so much because it's like, I feel disgusting if I just like work all the time and then it's like it's like a beautiful day. I want to go like in the water with my kids or like take them to what, like you just don't even feel good. And you get past this point of like, it's like to this point of diminishing return where like you're not even really putting anything out from the heart because you're just overworked. Like you can make a huge impact without doing a ton,
I know.
Yeah.
And I think it's so important to talk about that. And I know that the more people hear that, the more it becomes a possibility in their own lives and the happier people will be. And I love that you said that. And we're both so lucky we live by the beach, but I think it's so important. Why do we live by the beach? Why do we have kids? Because we want to hang out with them. Why do we have a business? Because we want to be able to give back to our children and invest in the things that we care about, like our health.
Yes.
Like that's really the main thing. I want to have a business so I can invest in my health, and take care of my family and do what I want, not be told what to do. But then when you're like sitting all day at the computer, and obviously there's times where that's just going to happen, but when you're just sitting all day like a zombie, and then you're like, wait, why am I doing this? I can go outside and like put my feet in the sand or like go on a hike or just go to lunch with my kids.
Yes.
Like those are the things that are going to actually fill us up and make us better business people and moms. And
also like you'll feel human. I don't know. It's like, I feel like the most human I ever felt was like, when you're like in college and you have no worries and you're just like energized and just like having fun and whatever, you're drinking, everything feels great. It's like, it's carefree. How can you get like less weighted down to where you're just like, I don't know, you can be a human, you can be a person. Like my partner is so much better at that than me. Like if it wasn't for him,
same. Oh my gosh.
Be a just psycho, nonstop working person. And like, it's just like, it doesn't even work. Like my system shuts off and we have this more culture. And I was raised by a parent, not necessarily my mom, but like my dad is like a super successful, hardcore businessman. And it's like just this more. He's like the most efficient person I've ever met. And it's like, when you see that, you're just like, you're kind of wired how your parents are. And then I like start to think about it. I'm like, I don't want my kids to feel like they constantly have to be doing something,
I know.
But it's hard. I do feel like that. And I want to keep that, even like the culture at LAKA too. Like even my new partner, she's also a mother too. And we talk about the same stuff. It's like this thing as being a working mom, moms that want to work and have a career, but like you can have both. Like you can be present with your children and you can also be very successful. It's like, if you need to like go off the mat for 2 days and go camping with your kids, like just do it. It's like, there is so much time in the world to do all the things that need to get done. They won't ever stop. I know.
Oh, I love it. And I love your products and I'm so excited about the honey and I love the matcha. I love that you were talking about the chlorophyll.
Yeah.
I think about that all the time with matcha. I'm like, this has minerals, just like even the minerals, like what it gives to you. It's not just this, like, I don't drink coffee and I used to back in the day and I will here and there. Like the other day I had one and I was just like, whoa, this is crazy. But it's not something that I want every day in my life. But matcha, I feel like it's sustainable and it makes me feel so good, just like what you were saying.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's medicine.
Yes.
It like truly is.
It's more than just like, just to give people an idea, we always use the comparison of coffee, but it's like apples and oranges. It's like matcha is more than just like a caffeine source. It's like a daily supplement for people's metabolism and their skin, and like all the, like the world of matcha and the science of big matcha is exploding. Like there is so much research on just EGCG for one, as just like this incredible skin, metabolism, organ transformer. Like it's just, it goes so far beyond just, I'm trying to get a caffeine boost. Although it does, but it's like, there's prebiotic fiber. Like we know how fiber is so essential for our gut, and just like looking at it as more than just like, this is in place of your coffee. You know, it gives you so much more. It's like a gift that keeps on giving in so many more ways.
It's not just trendy. Like it truly is a superfood.
Yes, totally. And it's also like, it's an ancient ritual. Like it's not like, I don't know, there's so much ritual to it. And I think that looking deeper than just like having a latte is, I don't know, it's just so important. And I feel like, especially where we source our matcha from too, like our farmers, they do things so old school. Like most of it is still by hand. Like they follow tradition so much more than these larger farms. And I swear you can just taste it. To me, it's just like so special. And, you know, we pack it at source and we do all the things to basically like preserve the potency of all the matcha instead of repackaging it or, you know, sending it to a co-packer to put it through a machine to fill into bags. Like it's actually all done from our farm there. And it's just like, whoa, it's like, it is a cornucopia of nutrients and minerals. And I don't know, for me that struggles with anxiety, which is why I use saffron, your capsules so much. And I love the latte too. I usually do them at night, but it's like my anxiety will be out of control and I won't be able to function if I'm drinking too much coffee and it stops working, you know? Sorry, I have people walking in.
No worries. We're almost done, but no worries.
Okay. Oh, I don't know what that is. I didn't know if there's going to be kids coming in and screaming.
I get it. My dad's taking care of mine. I'm like, take him to the library, please.
Please take him away from the house. So yeah, it is. It's so much more than like we try and explain how much of a supplement it is. And there's so much stuff that like, I don't know, we're still learning every single day about just the benefits of it and like how to activate it and how to boost its bioavailability. And that's some of the things that we're working on behind the scenes for new products coming, which is like a whole nother conversation because like, are we absorbing all, like, that's the one thing. Are we just buying all these supplements and like just creating expensive pee? You know, it just doesn't, sometimes it's like, it's a waste. I don't believe in just adding more to the space. Like, don't you feel bombarded with how much stuff is out there? I don't do it. I literally just do saffron, matcha, colostrum. Yes. Like
and then whole form is like, yes, ketones, like just seawater basically. And we don't, I mean, when you go in the ocean, it's like, whatever, you don't even need it.
Yeah,
you know?
Absolutely. But still, it's like, I don't know, people get so attached to how complicated their supplement regimens need to be. And I understand it's fun to have, like, I don't know, I was like that for so long where I just wanted to launch all this stuff and have this exciting stuff. And it's like, you can come up with, you know, with these partners, these co-packing partners, you can come up with the most incredible products and the coolest stuff. And it's like, it's so intoxicating, but like, is that consumer culture? You know, like that is just adding to what is not bringing us into the present moment. And if we woke up one day and like our house burned down, God forbid, or, you know, our bank accounts were emptied, would we be healthy? Like, would we have any of our wellness, or is it all dependent on these like 25 different supplements we take every day, you know?
Yeah. No, literally. And it's like also a good way. I mean, there'd be no world in which my house burned down and I needed to move out and I didn't grab matcha. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, okay, just the essentials. That's an essential.
I know,
so
totally.
It's like you're providing an essential.
Yes, totally. Like I had to just, I don't know. I used to get so like addicted to learning about all the new stuff that's coming out, but it's like, it's just too much. I had to like, to some extent, even like stop listening to all the podcasts I would listen to. And like, you know, like I'm very selective with like who, like you say, like we have to prioritize how much we have as a mom and a parent. It's like, say no to a lot of things, products, people, you know, like all the things that are just like going to crowd you out and not be able to help you, stay present. It's like, it's not worth it.
Oh my gosh, Liz, I just love you so much and I love talking to you. And I feel like our journey is literally the same. It's so crazy. Everything you say and have shared, I experienced, and I'm just excited to see what you do next, and just how you're growing LAKA, and I appreciate you coming on and sharing your journey with us, and hopefully it helps more people that are listening to just know that people behind these brands that we consume are just normal and just like us and any other mom or any other person with a crazy idea. Like, you can totally do it. Just don't make the mistakes Liz and I made, and hopefully we helped you a little bit on the path. But yeah, I think that keeping it small keeps us present and makes us prioritize what's important. And I think that's like the biggest lesson I learned, and I'm happy we learned it on the same like time and wavelength.
Yeah. And like, luckily we're still standing. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Sometimes you don't come out alive and you're like, well,
no.
Okay, well, that was fun.
Mm-hmm. No, it's so true.
I'm so excited to see you too. And I love your authenticity and how you speak up and just say it how it is. And it's like, anything you post or decide to share, just know that I'm like, I literally agree. Like, this is what we need more of. And I think that there are a lot of other people out there, like everyone listening, don't be afraid to just speak up and like speak your truth. It's like, what's the worst that can happen, you know?
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's a waste of life.
I agree. I totally agree. That's why we're here.
Yeah.
Or that's how I feel. But I love you. Thanks for joining us, and can't wait for round 2.
Yes. Thanks for having me.